I will call the Finance Committee of November 1st, 2022 to order. It is 6:30 p.m. First item on our agenda is approval of minutes. Do I have a motion to approve draft minutes of the October 25th, 2022 Finance Committee?
I move approval.
I have a motion to approve. Discussion. No discussion. Corrections. We'll place the motion before us to a vote. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. The ayes have it. Motion carries. Next item is. Thank you.
Cannot live without it.
I touched the. We're having some technical difficulties. Next item is item number 3, public appearances, non-agenda items. And we have no one registered in chambers or online. Correct, Scott? Correct. All right, thank you. Next item is the Finance Director report. And I will turn it over to our Finance Director, Misty Dodge.
Thank you. So I'll start with the August and September treasurer's reports that were included in the packet and on the website. Both of those months, we were in kind of the height of construction season. So as you saw, we were approving bills at committees. Things have been kind of higher, a lot of money going out the door. The other unique thing is in August, we collect or get a payment from the state for certain tax payments that we then settle in September. So that kind of crossed those months. And then in September is our final settlement where we get the last batch of payments from the county when they buy from us all of the tax payments, real property tax payments that hadn't been paid. So there's a big influx of cash then too in September. So those are a couple of unique months. I do have more report, but I'll pause here in case there's questions on those two reports. No? Excellent. Big news, of course, tonight is the budget adoption. We are a week early, which is nice, for me at least. It'll be good to have this big process complete. The actual final adopted budget book won't be available until closer to the end of the year because we have to get all of the tax roll and that stuff all put together. But at least I'll have the inputs from this part of that process ready to go. And then I need to have, my goal is always to have the final budget document out on the website and distributed by the end of the year before the new year starts. So that won't be right away, but will be in relatively short order. And then Town of Madison. So Town of Madison is no longer here. City of Fitchburg is now serving those properties as of Monday. A small group of staff went out to the town hall and did a walkthrough of the property to look at the assets that were still available and help decide, as per our apportionment agreement with the City of Madison, how those assets were going to be divvied up. And then I'm starting to receive some paper files from the town as well. So I've had a couple of big loads of paper boxes that I'll need to go through and figure out what we need to keep, what we can purge, where it needs to be stored. So all in all, from a finance perspective, it went very smooth. A lot of it is just going to be in compliance with the different agreements that we had gotten done before the final attachment.
And Chair, I have a question.
Yes, go ahead, Alder Wheeler.
When will the signs be changed to show the true population? I still see one out there for 25,000 and then there's one for 30,000.
Do you know?
In progress. We got the first one up yesterday.
Oh.
And the others will be adjusted accordingly now.
Thank you.
Okay, for our viewers at home, I'm not sure if you heard the answer to the population signs, but it's a work in progress, and we have one currently that's correct, and then the remaining will take place in the next several weeks. Did you want anything further?
Nope, that was all that I had.
Okay, all right, very good. We will move on to item 5, review of bills. 5A, detailed review of checks for $10,000 and above for the period of October 16th through the 31st, 2022, totaling $1,008,827.69. Questions from the committee?
Yes, I have one.
Yes, go ahead, Alder Wheeler.
What is the annual manufacturing fee that we pay to the Department of Revenue?
Yeah, so that is an assessing function. So the city assessor is responsible for assessing all non-manufacturing parcels within the city. All manufacturing parcels can apply to the state to be assessed by the Department of Revenue instead, and then we are responsible for paying our proportionate share of their overall budget for them to do that work.
Oh, okay, thanks.
Okay, additional questions? Hearing none, we will move on to item 5B, detailed review of all checks issued, checks 124089 through 124150 for the period of October 16th through the 31st, 2022, totaling $1,080,363. Discussion from the committee. Hearing none, we'll move on to 5C, detailed review of ACH payments for $10,000 and above for the period of October 1st through the 31st, 2022, totaling $332,224.30. Questions from the committee? Hearing none, moving on to item 5D under review of bills, detailed review of all ACH payments for the period of October 1st through the 31st, 2022, totaling $338,111.28. Questions, discussion from the committee? Hearing none, we will move on to action items. 6A, do I have a motion to approve ordinance 2022-0-40, updating Fitchburg purchasing policy to allow administrative approval of settlement claims as recommended by insurance carrier by creating Fitchburg Ordinance Section 10-30713.
I move approval.
We have a motion for approval, and we will turn this over to Misty. I believe you will speak to this item?
I will.
Okay, very good.
So this is adding a new ordinance. The city is currently essentially self-funded for certain insurance claims, up to $37,500 per claim. We've had some discussion internally about the city's authority, in particular staff's authority, to settle these claims as recommended by our insurance carrier. And we decided it would be much clearer if we just got that authority from council for staff to do it. So what this would allow is it would be based on the recommendation from the insurance carrier. So if they're saying, we believe that you should pay this, we would take that advice and then we would follow the purchasing policy thresholds. So if it's less than $5,000, staff could pay it. If it's between $5,000 and $25,000, it could be paid with the mayor's approval, and $25,000 and above, it would be council approval required before we could settle that claim. So in my view, it's similar to a payment that we would do for something else that we contracted, but because it's technically a settlement from an insurance perspective, we thought it's best to get clear authority.
Very good. Discussion from the committee. Hearing none, we will vote on the motion before us. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Ayes have it, motion carries. Moving on to the next action item, 6B. Do I have a motion to approve Resolution R-199-22, amending the 2022 General Fund and Library Fund budgets, increased gasoline costs?
I move approval.
All right, I have a motion for approval. And Misty, you'll speak to this item as well?
I will. This is one that we probably all saw coming. As you know, the gasoline and diesel prices are much higher this year and have continued to stay relatively high, and much higher than what we had budgeted for 2022. So at the city, we are required to stay within budget. So we're bringing forward this budget amendment to address this overage. All of the overages are being absorbed either through staff vacancies or travel that has been either converted to webinars or not completed, mostly because of COVID or staffing issues. So it's all from one expense to another expense within the same department. I really see it just as a cleanup item to address the gas prices.
Very good. Do you believe that I think it's a total around $60,456. Do you believe that that will care for it for this year, or there could be additional?
To be honest, so the intern Ryan was the one that worked with the departments on what these dollar amounts were proposed to be. So
Okay.
I don't know exactly, but I can look into that and bring it back if we need to do more.
Sure. Okay, very good. Other questions? Yes, Alder Gerhardt.
Do you recall what I didn't note it in the budget. What do we budget for 2023? Because we do it by average gas cost, is that right?
So the intern, again, did an exercise where he looked at what the Department of Energy was projecting for gas prices to be. There's people that do this a lot better than what we can do. I can't recall off the top of my head what gas prices we used in the 2023 budget, but it was based on that kind of data source.
Great.
Okay, additional questions, discussion? Hearing none, we'll place the motion before us to a vote. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it, motion carries. Item 6C, Do I have a motion to approve Resolution R-204-22, amending the 2022 General Fund Budget Sustainability Planning Phase 2?
I move approval.
We have a motion for approval, and Misty, you'll speak to this item?
I can, and then obviously Alder Gerhard is the one that sponsored it, so she can jump in unless you want to take it. Sure. So one of the strategies that we use whenever we're trying to balance a budget for the coming year is to look at what one-time projects are being proposed and to try to find another funding source to do it. This one wasn't identified at the time, but then Gabriella identified it as a possible use of the same type of a strategy. So phase one of the sustainability planning was included in the 2022 budget. Phase two, the 2023 budget included $10,000 out of the $25,000 project. So it wasn't fully funded in there out of the TID closure money. What this resolution would do is it would instead fund that full $25,000 for phase two using staff vacancies in the department. In order to pay for that in 2022. The project won't get done. It's just not feasible for that to be completed, but we'll go through the carryover process at the end of the year like we do for all of our projects and carry that money over into 2023 when the project would be expected to be completed.
So we approved it for 25,000, and so what portion are we looking for additional dollars in? 15,000 to make?
So technically, we'd be looking for the full 25,000 in 2022 out of vacancy savings. And then the 10,000 that is currently in 2023, there's a council proposed amendment for tonight that would take that money out because we wouldn't need to duplicate it.
Okay, all right. Additional?
Yeah, Misty summarized it really well. It's just a matter of, I was looking for 2023 budget funds. It was clearly not going to happen. And obviously, one-time funding projects have different, we have different opportunities funding-wise. So given the fact that we've been low on staff this year, which is a very difficult and sad situation, but there is an opportunity to use some of those funds to fund things in this current year budget. So thanks, Misty, for working with me to find this.
Okay. I mean, to me, this is an important project. So this would be moving forward. And even if we approve it tonight and council approves it, we still will be addressing it, a portion of it through the amendment as well for 2023.
Yes, yeah. So this will be for the resolution, and then assuming this passes council, amendment number 6 to the budget is to remove that $10,000 in TID funding. Yep. And presuming this passes, I will encourage the passage of that proposal.
Sure.
And then hopefully it'll be nice and even. It'll be fully funded through this current fiscal year, and obviously we'll roll it over into 2023, but then we don't have to look for any more no tax levy funding for it.
All right, but it's a great project, so I'd like to see it move forward as well. Any further questions or discussion? Hearing none, I'll place the motion before us to a vote. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 The ayes have it, motion carries. Moving on to action item 6D, do I have a motion to approve Resolution R-208-22, amending the 2022 FACT TV budget cameras?
Move approval.
Okay, we have a motion for approval. And Misty, you're going to speak to this item as well?
I will. So this is basically the same scenario, but for a different project. So the cameras have been proposed for at least one other year, as well as 2023. Haven't been able to fit them within our levy limits. However, FACT TV had a staff vacancy as well, so that savings is being repurposed to this camera purchase. Most likely, again, we won't get them until next year because supply chain is really killing us this year. So we'll propose that for carryover, and the cameras will be purchased in 2023. So this is just a strategy we can use to try to make our ongoing budgets easier when it's a one-time purchase.
Okay, very good. Discussion. Hearing none. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. The ayes have it, motion carries. Moving on to our next action item, 6E. Do I have a motion to approve Resolution R-211-22, approving a memorandum of understanding between the City of Fitchburg and the International Association of Firefighters, Local 311, acting officer in charge compensation, and this is a direct referral.
I move approval.
I have a motion for approval, and Chief Pulvermacher is here with us this evening. You're going to address this, speak to
Yeah, I'll address it really briefly. In order for our lieutenants to assume the role of officer in charge for the day, there would be an acting, what amounts to compensation to act up into that position. This is an MOU instead of incorporating it into the collective bargaining agreement because we want to monitor this. It does have an expiration that will likely be brought up at the next bargaining. So this brings us up to speed in order to be able to cover expenses associated with people acting up at a level higher than that their job description provides.
Very good. Discussion. Hearing none, I'll place the motion before us to a vote. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it, motion carries. Moving on to the next resolution. Do I have a motion to approve Resolution R-213-22, authorizing for new fire incident records management software? And this is a direct referral.
So moved.
All right. A motion for approval, and Chief Pulvermacher, you will speak to this item as well. So.
I will, thank you. So this is a subscription and licensing agreement that is instituted with a new records management system. Our current provider is not very responsive to some of the demands of our reporting, and support has been less than great. We have looked into a variety of different options. The records management system that we have before you is being used by Green Bay, Janesville, Neenah, Menasha, and they have reported success with the platform. So we're looking to go to this. The reason why it's direct referral is we're trying to get all of our information transferred over before the end of the year. And it's going to come to us at a cost savings. So it was going to be $14,000 for us to go to reinstate our subscription with the current provider. It's going to be a little bit over $10,000 next year with this new one.
Very good. Discussion from the committee. Hearing none, I'll place the motion before us to a vote. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it, motion carries. Moving on to item 7, announcements. Our next meeting is scheduled for November 22nd, 2022. And then, of course, number 8, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All right. I have a motion before us to adjourn. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. The ayes have it. We are adjourned at 6:47 p.m. Thank you.